Hey, it's March 2024, and it's been a while since I've been around. Got some updates. I know I was leading into talking about lupus, SLE, I believe, and discoid lupus were some of the terms I was using, um, and had been to the dermatologist who was not really um, agreeing that what I was having on my head, the outbreaks that I was having in my head, were psoriatic in nature. Um, Nonetheless, for those type of outbreaks, the treatment is the baseline treatment is standard across the board, which is a steroid cream. I applied that back in 2023. I think it was like October, and my head has not broke out like it did before. It was flaking a whole bunch, right? So October and November and December of 2023 had been really calm months in terms of my body flare ups. I really I think my physical movement was really minimal. Um, I traveled once, I believe, and that was in October of 23. I remember even telling the physical therapist that I was seeing I'm seeing for another situation that I feel like I'm coming back into some baseline, like I know what my body feels like. Um, December of 23 was okay, just a little more achy, and I attributed that to the seasonal changes because I'm on the East Coast here, um, mid Atlantic area. And through January of 24, I started aching and kind of being like, okay, more achy and attributing that to the weather. And then in my neck started bothering me a lot. And I started having right here and here, like pain. And then it became hard to hold my arms up sometimes in the morning, trying to, just do some baseline stuff. But then also, it felt like I couldn't walk. So that was all of January, and it got worse. But I couldn't get my head off the pillow in February. I knew something was wrong when one day I had to go out and I needed to go push a wheelchair, and I couldn't do it. Um, so I got a chance to see the rheumatologist for an emergency visit. When we first started talking, she did mention undifferentiated connective tissue disease, and we began to treat for what looked like lupus C stuff. And then the Raynar. I was telling her what happened, was going on, and that I think I have Raynar. So my rheumatologist has really been um, good at listening to me and using their expertise and then coming up with a plan. And so we've been able to make some progress, right? And so here we are in 24 with this stuff I got going on. And I went back and revisited what she told me about undifferentiated connective tissue disease, which also is labeled under connective mixed connective tissue disease. And as I began to read, it explained that it's three and one. And then that began to open up a world of things for me. And I was able to read about dermatomyositis and polymyositis. And when I began to read it, I said, God darn it, here it is. This is what I'm going through right now. And so I put the urgency in, and it explains a lot. Um, and so I want to let people know that this, I'm going to pause and say this has been about 9 years in the making, trying to figure out what's going on. And each thing that has happened in my body has happened one by one by one, separate years, maybe 2 months, and then things will go away. But what it turns out is that I've been having these polymyocystic cystic flares since 2018. About three of them a year that were severe. Um, where I would be sick for 2 weeks. And so now I know what's been going on and that it has progressed. And so I say that to say how important it is to have language words, how important it is for the clinician that's working with the person to listen and then use their expertise to lift up what's going on with the person. So I want to pause this right here. There's a lot to take in, a lot for me to say, but I will be back. So some takeaways are polymyositis, dermamyositis, DML, I think it says, or PML. Those abbreviations you might see. They throw a lot of acronyms around. Um, Mixed connective tissue disease, MCTD. Um, so those are words that you can throw into the search engine to open up your world. I'll be posting a little more as I muster up enough, to do it. And I just thank you for continuing to walk with me and tune in. Thank you for your support.